same matching t-shirts. Do all that.
Love the t-shirts.
Nobody else has seen them yet.
Yeah, this is we just got them. And so that's why we're both wearing them.
I'm a virgin viewer.
Sometimes like a little bit zoomed in just kind of gives this sort of profesh effect somehow. It does this thing.
Profesh effect.
It does the
Hashtag.
Oh, instant profesh. Do you think? Alright. Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, excellent. This is fun. This is fun already.
Good start. Let's go.
Yeah, alright. I'm so curious
Yeah.
about the whole drama and the commercials and the acting and everything.
Yeah.
Can you, where to start? Did you do drama at school?
I did, and I think
cool.
that's where it started for me. Like my primary school did like pretty cool musicals, and I don't know, I was just always a bit of a show off. Like I was always the weird kid at school that got bullied, and then like I'd get on stage, and it wasn't just drama too, it was like public speaking and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd get on stage and be like, I don't give a fuck what any of you think. Like it was so
Nice.
freeing for me.
Yeah.
So I was really good at drama, and I actually went to uni straight after high school and was doing a degree in theatre. But like life took a bit of a turn there.
Yeah.
So no more uni.
Okay,
but, like,
sure.
did keep the drama aspect of my life. I will never stop being a performer.
Yeah, fully.
And now it's just kind of the road's taking me into hip hop. That's where I'm getting that out. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you feel like the skills you learned from your time at uni and your time at school doing drama like enhances your
I don't think there's
performance?
anything in life that wouldn't enhance your performance if you're a tapped in enough person that you can realize everything's interconnected.
Yeah.
But definitely like performing arts is all interconnected.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll be up on stage and I'll be losing my breath during a song. I'm like, you need to ground yourself. Like remember what shout out Silsey, remember what Miss Sills said. Like feel the energy from your feet, and then all of a sudden your breathing comes in alignment and like stuff like that. Like and there was another thing, like I was talking to one of my young homies today, Haunted, who I have a collab with, and he was like, oh, I'm practicing for the gig tomorrow in the mirror. And I was like, don't practice in the mirror, bro. That's the like key way to put yourself in your head. You want to be out of your head when you're performing. You don't want to be looking yourself in the eyes going, well, is this what I look like when I say that line? Like, no. And that's an acting thing I learned. Like, never rehearse in the mirror. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah, well, I guess your eyes, you're using them to look out at everything. You're not using them to look back in at yourself.
Exactly.
There's a reason you can't see your own face.
And most rappers are so fucking insecure and introspective and already wondering what the fuck they look like. Like, get out of that. Get out of it, homie. Like, yeah.
As far as that goes, like, I'm thinking of poetry and rap and the ties there. How do you consider yourself a writer? Do you write a lot? Or are you more of a, like, does it just come out in the performance? Like, do you feel like you resonate with a particular part of rapping?
I think I'm a writer, but I'm also a musician. And I think that's a line that a lot of people, I don't want to say don't want to cross.
Writing and musicians.
Like being a rapper or being a musician, there's a lot of rappers, especially in Australian hip-hop, with this attitude like, I don't do music, I do grime, I do drill. It's about an attitude, or it's about a facade for them, but it's like your music could take it so much further. Me saying that with like not a lot of followers, but like I have a vision that the music aspect can be integrated with the writing aspect. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
I don't know, I feel like I went tipsy off track then.
No, I like it. I really like it because it makes me think of just what you represent in the Australian hip-hop scene.
Yeah.
And you've got a really interesting Australian cadence, and you like represent female rappers in this really Australian way. I don't know if that's even appropriate for me to say.
No,
you
it's
represent
totally.
that. I mean, I guess you have to decide yourself.
Well,
what
I
you represent.
think one thing is, and like, because like I've been in church choirs and stuff, like one thing is I've always, and like obviously this comes later with the whole being gay part of it, but even as a kid I always had a deeper voice than other girls that were around me. It'd be like if there was like 16 kids in the choir, all the girls would be in the soprano section, and then I'd be singing the boys' part.
Nice.
Which I was super insecure about, but I also get compliments that my voice sits in a really nice spot, being like deep and rich like that. So, and like, don't get me wrong, after high school, the like pack a day ciggy habit definitely helped that.
Yes, enhance the grime of the voice.
The grime,
Roughness.
the whatever you call it. Yeah, I sit pretty low. But yeah, I guess like as for representing, what was the question?
I don't remember.
Beers was a really good idea, hey.
It was.
Cha-ching.
Cheers. I think, the original question was to do with what you represent. Basically, I was thinking about other young Australian female rappers, particularly gay rappers.
Yeah.
And what they're looking at you and what they're seeing, and you just represent a very small, essentially a minority.
Yeah.
And not to say that there's no female gay rappers out there, of course
But it is a minority
but there's not many.
in the scheme of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've kind of tried to not put that weight on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I just do what I do.
Yeah.
And if people fuck with it, they fuck with it. And if people want to give me attitude for it, they can give me attitude for it. But it's like nothing I haven't heard on a train at 10 o'clock at night. Like, call me a dyke, call me this and that. Like, come up with something original.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for. Someone's, something exciting. But also, like, I was actually thinking, like, having a little rumination about this today, like, about what message I'm sending. And I feel like quite often my rhymes and stuff can be quite abstract.
Yeah.
Or I find myself saying the same kind of shit that a lot of guys would say in their raps. And I'm like, this is not me trying to be a bloke. I'm not trying to prove myself as a guy in the scene.
Yeah.
I'm saying it to piss off a lot of people.
Oh.
Like, I say all these things about girls, not to piss off girls, like, like, oh, I fucked her, blah, 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 whatever. I don't say it to piss off girls, I say it to piss off guys who don't want to hear that a little dyke like me is getting that. You know what I mean?
Yes!
Yeah.
I like that.
Like,
very empowered.
Exactly. So I feel like, and this is what I want my audience to understand, is that it's not that I'm not writing deep songs, it's that the shit that I've been writing in and of itself is a fucking protest.
Right.
Like, the shit I've been writing is so riddled in... There might be a line I'll write and I'll question it and I'll go, is that PC?
Ooh.
Like, honestly, is that PC?
Yeah.
But I feel okay with pushing some boundaries because it's got a whole different layer to it with me being a female lesbian.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm like, this might not even really directly be my attitude, but it's me saying something that's gonna piss off the world. And I fucking hope you know that we're here to say it. Like, I am writing a song at the moment that's about, like, female empowerment. Like, that is the topic of the song. But I want everyone to understand in the fucking layers of all my abstract, cryptic words. It's like, I'm sticking it to the man.
Yes.
Alright? Yeah.
It's like
There's meaning.
Pardon?
Like reclamation.
100%. Yes, exactly. And that's like, a lot of people will say the word dyke in songs who are men.
Yeah.
And like, do you
think they mean it as an insult when they say it?
No, and that's the thing I have to navigate as a rapper as well. It's like rap is an art form that does work with rhyme and structures and how you can fit this scaffold together, this puzzle together. So there are often times where I'm like, I need to brush that off and not get offended, because as we discussed off camera, I'm a Cancer and I get very emotional about some things. But also then there's words that I want to say where I'm like, well, not want to say, there's words that I will say where I'm like, maybe that would hurt some people's feelings. Oh well.
Yeah,
like,
sure. Do you feel like the oh well, are you, is it an oh well because the benefit is greater from saying that than the hurt that it might cause?
If there's something like I would never ever say the N-word or any racist things, like for me that's out of the picture, and hopefully one day hip-hop gets to a level where words like and dyke will be eliminated.
Yeah.
And like that's even the thing, like I'm so part of the queer community in Sydney, but I would never put in a song. And I say it as like a homie to my friends who will also call me a dyke in response, you know, but like I still feel that in a song it's like the only way I'd put it in a song if I was saying to like, if the voice was saying to like straight people, don't say that word, you know what I mean? I'd never use it as an insult in a song. So like I feel like the world's kind of at a place where racial slurs are becoming totally unacceptable, which is amazing. It's time to cut out homophobic slurs as well, because no matter how much people want to deny it, gay people have fucking suffered. Like,
absolutely. Oh my god, absolutely. They've
Like,
been murdered.
yeah.
They've literally been hunted down
Yeah.
and murdered. Yeah, like, not to discount racism at all, but it definitely...
or any other discrimination.
Of course, yeah.
Like, you know, ableism as well. Like, there has been songs released in the past few years that the R word, like, has been used by Australian rappers, and I feel like America's maybe a bit more woke to that.
Yeah.
I hate the word woke, though. Fucking...
I get why you hate it, but I also feel like it's incredibly descriptive and communicates so much,
Yeah.
particularly to this
I
generation.
just prefer enlightened. I feel woke
Enlightened's
I feel
nice.
woke carries this, like, social media weight to it.
I noticed while I was researching you that you expressed that you want the freedom to explore both light and dark
Yes.
stuff. So can you tell us about how that links in with St Bedlam? Can you give us a little description?
Okay, so, if anyone knows of Bedlam, the asylum that used to run in London back in, like, olden times when mental health patients were... There's so many layers to my name.
Cool,
yeah.
I want them.
Okay, cool. So, like, mental health patients weren't treated fucking awesomely at all back in the
It's scary to
19th
think
century.
of.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It was really bad. And in the Saint, like, I grew up really Catholic. So Catholic. Like, church every Sunday, church choir, altar serving at St. Mary's Cathedral.
Wow. Catholic school too.
Yep.
Wow.
Rosary before bed. I went to a boarding school, but I was not...
Hey!
Catch it! Oh, she caught it! I went to a school that had borders. I myself was not a boarder. I grew up in Sydney. St. Scholastica's College. The Skulls Mo! Represent. Point being, I grew up super Catholic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, that's that good part in me that everyone has. And then there's the dark part of me, which I think everyone has as well.
Yeah.
And it's just about navigating that, and like, then if you go into like not modern day spirituality, I guess more like occult stuff, like working with your shadow self, and how like if you don't work through your shadows, then you can't really reach the light and stuff like that. And I guess that's the thing, like growing up so Catholic, and I was so fucking well behaved. Like, I don't think like, oh my god, I'd never put a toe out of line. And then you leave school, and all of a sudden you can go to clubs, and you can make out with people, and then drugs are starting to appear, and then you're under the influence and you do some stupid shit, and like, it's like, well, fuck, like, I spent 18 years of my life thinking I would never do these things, judging people who would do these things, and now here I am in that same position, so I guess the dark was always in me, I just never had the opportunity to explore it. And then you go so far into the darkness that you're like, well, I don't actually like this. How do I come back? How do I, it's like that classic thing of the angel and devil on your shoulder, like, how do I work this out? How do I find a balance? Because as well, the stuff I was taught that was darkness was just like sex.
Yeah.
Was just like
totally
dropping an F-bomb in a song or in a conversation. Like, that shit was condemnable. How do I find that middle ground? So, what's in a name?
What's in a name? A lot, apparently. Yeah, I guess it's like a pendulum swing. Like, you go from the extreme on this end, and then the pendulum swings all the way to the other end, and then you go back to the other end, but you don't go quite as far. And then you go back.
That's my whole life. I was so
and then you find the middle eventually.
Black and white in that sense. Like, I'm either all in, all out, or this or that. And that comes with like having borderline personality disorder. I'll speak openly about my mental illness. It's one of the, I guess it's kind of in the, like, requirement is not the word I'm looking for. What's the word? Like, there's like a checklist, and if you have black and white ideologies in life, it's one of the things they'll tick off for, like, having borderline. So, living at extremes. Yeah. You're either extremely happy or extremely sad, or you're very social or completely delved into hermitude. And
is this meaning to say that you could be either at any time, or you pick one either at any time?
It's borderline. See, okay, so borderline kind of gets confused with bipolar. Yeah. So bipolar is a chemical thing where your brain will switch off certain chemical. Like, I'm not a doctor, but like, I don't have bipolar, but this is
understanding.
Not a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. So my understanding is that bipolar will have the chemicals that either switch on and switch off, and like, put you into either that state or that state. Whereas borderline is not so much chemical; it's more behavioral. So it's like more learnt things from like having a complex trauma in your life.
Yeah.
And so that's often why people get misdiagnosed with bipolar, especially early in age, and they'll start putting them on, the lithium tablets and stuff when really they don't need it. They need DBT therapy. If you think you have borderline, go to DBT therapy. Seriously.
What's DBT?
It's dialectical behavior therapy. So dialectical, there it is. Like it works with the highs and lows, the extremes.
Yeah.
And I was very grateful I had the opportunity to do that. And the thing is, it doesn't take away borderline, but it helps you regulate it.
Yeah.
And the woman who devised the theory, the psychologist who devised it, she actually has it herself.
Yeah.
So if you do go into it, you know that you're in the right hands because it's actually been made by someone who understands. Like,
Something that I find so fascinating on the topic of complex trauma is getting to the point of understanding that the way that you are because of your complex trauma is not wrong, and you don't necessarily need fixing, but that you just need to learn how to manage yourself and be yourself with these traits in regular society.
Yeah.
And not to say that, you need to stuff anything down or like fit in and be right
the
right way, but like, because I think I thought for so long that I had to like fix that about myself, and then one day I was like, holy shit, what if I just worked out how to be that way instead of trying to fucking shut it up all the time?
100%.
I guess we're kind of moving that way. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think the way I like to liken it for people so that people can understand better is whenever I'm discussing mental health stuff, I often take it into a physical thing. So like if you had a problem with your knee, like a mild problem with your knee, you're not instantly going to jump to a knee replacement. Yes. You're going to find the right strapping for it, and you're going to do the right exercises for it, and your knee will probably be a little bit sore for the rest of your life, but like, have you learned to deal with it? Have you done the correct strengthening exercises? Yes, you have. Have you given it the support it needs? Yes, you have.
Yeah.
So, and like, it seems to click for people when you put it into like a physical ailment, because it's been so much more accepted.
Of course, and I really love the connection between that and your name. Because of the way
layers.
this was treated. Oh wow, it's all coming together. I really like that. That's cool.
So hang on, you guys have done a lot of research on me. Do you know where I worked? Do you know what I do for work?
Yay.
Sex toys.
Okay, so you work at a sex shop.
I do.
Mad.
Yeah.
I don't know what to ask about
We're
that.
in the middle of a story. Now
we were somewhere and then I had to go to the toilet and the camera almost blew up and I need to get my wedgie out. Yeah. That's alright. I'll light some more incense. I also
the continuity of the candle. Oh my god.
The continuity. Where's my matches? We were talking about sex shop life.
Okay, so you brought up, you're like, did you see my latest Instagram post? Did you notice that there was a dildo in the background? Did you want to know, hey, I work in a sex shop? And then I feel like that's as far as we got. I don't know, I could be wrong.
I worked in a sex shop, that's it. Now I've lost all my inspo for that topic.
Okay, fair enough. We can move on. Okay, I'm very curious.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking at your Spotify, you have 2 songs that are named after ocean creatures. Is that a coincidence, or is there an ocean creature habit thing, or is there something else wrong?
So what, squid ink and oyster?
Yeah.
For starters, anyone that knows me knows I'm obsessed with seafood.
Oh, see, that is a reason. I thought so.
It's just always on my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
always...
just
I'm just... Like... Total wog mentality. I'm always thinking about food, but the specific food I'm thinking about is from the ocean.
I love that. What's your favorite ocean food?
Oh, that's
Seafood.
hard.
Ocean food.
That question.
I'm asking it.
I
though.
debate with myself all the time
Oh.
about what my favorite ocean food is.
Today it's prawns. Today it's oysters. Today, what is it?
Probably crabs.
Crabs are fuck off delicious though.
Just like fucking. And there's something primitive about eating it too.
Yes, I agree.
Where you like sit there, you get the hammer out because you've bought a 2 kilo mud crab, and you gotta fucking crack that thing open, you know? Like, Yeah, it is a theme. But I'm also, like, the ocean's a big part of my family and my life, so... Yeah.
Fully. Cool.
So it's, like, the seafood element, like,
Yeah.
the edible element, but
Yeah.
there's also the, like, just, like, the connection to water and... Oh, fuck, the water's my happy place, eh?
Oh, really? Are you a beach fan?
Yeah, I love snorkeling. I love seeing...
Do you have a favourite snorkeling? I love snorkeling. Do you have a favourite snorkeling place in Sydney?
Oh, I mean, we did a couple spots this summer. Clovelly was... fucking Clovelly was awesome! So it had been the last time I went snorkeling was in Malta. Because, like, COVID happened and shit. So the last time I went was in Malta. It was actually off the island of Gozo. That was awesome snorkeling there, and then I hadn't been, and yeah, jumped in the water at Clovelly this summer, and I think I had the mask on for I was probably under the water for like 5 minutes, and a fucking blue groper about this big fucking swam into view, and they're just the most beautiful, friendly fish. Like, if you like snorkel in the same spot for a while, they like make friends with you. And they'll come say hi to you and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, they're so fucking cute. Yeah. As well, I was just so fucking excited. I kept coming, I was like, I'd look at it, and I'd come out of the water, and be like, oh, there's a fucking gripper back there.
Oh my god, back in.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, it was just, it was so fucking wild. It was like, to have your head underwater for like all of 5 minutes, and for that to happen, like, people wait for that moment their whole life. Like, it was...
Ooh, you really are a water baby.
Yeah, I am.
Well, you are. You're a Cancer.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer, and like, my parents were born in Malta, which is such a tiny island. I think to go from the west coast to the east coast is a 45-minute drive. Tiny island. The best way to explain it is that you can fit 62 Maltas into Tasmania.
That's just...
Tiny island. Yeah, my parents got here in the 50s, so...
Right. How old were they in the 50s?
When Dad got here, he was 14, and when Mum got here, she was 12.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they got ships, and at the time, there was a war in the Suez Canal, so on the east coast of Africa, no-go zone. So they had to go around the west side of Africa to get to Australia.
What a long trip!
Yeah, I think it was like 3 months or something.
Was that your parents?
Yeah. I was like, we said this off camera, but my dad's baptism got interrupted by a fucking air raid. Like, the Germans were bombing Malta at the time, and my nana had to carry my dad into a fucking bomb shelter mid-baptism. Hectic. So that's pretty cool.
And that's your direct blood relative.
Yeah, like super direct. My actual parentals, yeah. It's a bit of a trip out. I feel like everyone hears about World War II stuff and be like, oh, that's so long ago. You know, like, people still feel it. It's the Holocaust. Of course people still feel it. I feel like generations, even from us, will still be feeling it. But, like, that wasn't my grandparents. that was my mum and dad, you know?
Do you ask them about their direct experience ever? Is that something you guys talk about?
Well, Dad passed 4 years ago. But he spoke a bit about it. Mum, like, I know, for example, she was one of 22 kids. Yeah, I was waiting for that silent shock from both of you. Mum was the youngest of 22. I think in that there was 2 sets of twins. And, like, to be fair, like, Mum being the youngest, Mum was born in 44. So most of them were born through the 20s and the 30s. So I think she delivered every baby alive, but a lot of them did die because of gastro and stuff.
Yeah.
Different time. And Malta as well. Like, so yeah, Mum was the youngest of 22, and I think Dad was the youngest of 9 or 11. I get those two numbers confused for some reason.
Well, they're both next to 10.
Yeah, exactly. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I know Mum, for example, like, all of those, like, the parents and the siblings all lived in the same bedroom. So, like, they came to Australia for a better life. And this is something I want to clear up. Like, I don't claim to be a houser. I don't claim to have grown up in full-on struggle. I know there are definitely people who've had it worse off than me. But, like, my parents came here 12, 14, went straight into work. Bought in Balmain in the 60s, which at the time was super blue collar. A lot of people here like not understanding that my parents bought in that age, a lot of people hear that I grew up around Balmain and be like, oh, so you're rich. I'm like, no, I wasn't rich. I actually grew up in the 90s from parents that bought in the 60s when housing was cheap in that area, and I watched the suburb gentrify around me. Like, I watched all of a sudden other working class families move out and richer families move in, and was like, felt extremely out of place. Like, the stage in my parents' life in which I was born has kind of put me in this grey area where, like, I don't understand myself and I don't know how to convey it in my music either. Like, there are times where I want to go deeper in my music, but I'm also like, I don't want to claim I came from the struggle because I grew up near Balmain, but then also, like, I need to get into this because you need to understand the perspective of, like, what it's like to grow up in a family that had, like, you know, hearing your dad say, I can't afford your schooling anymore, I can't afford this and that, and, like, watching everyone be more affluent around you. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
It's a really different perspective. Like, it's so unique, and that's probably where I feel pressure to make sure that when I do put it in music, I do it right. I'm so grateful for everything my mum did. Like, she saved money so much and made sure I got to go to a good school and whatnot, and, like, you know, I had opportunities that other kids wouldn't have, like going to therapy and piano lessons and stuff like that. But then there's also a lot of stuff I missed out on. Like, if you put a PlayStation controller in my hand, I don't know how to use it because I never had those optional extras. I never had, and, like, I've had this argument. It's like, well, yes, in some ways I'm privileged. Like, compared to a lot of people, I was privileged, but also compared to a lot of people, I was not. And it's a funny thing to navigate. I don't think I'd give a fuck about thinking about it and defining it that much if I wasn't in hip hop. But I feel like it's a debate in hip hop. Yeah.
Is there anything that you could potentially tell as a younger version of yourself that you think would aid in your hip hop journey? Or, like, anything that you would want to express to younger, potentially gay, female rappers or people wanting to get into the scene, or anything that you, maybe if you had known, would have made your experience a little bit easier? Is there anything you want to share?
Yeah, just don't let the voices in your head get you down, hey? Because I feel like if I didn't, I would have released stuff a lot sooner. Just, like, don't fucking worry about what other people think. Like, the only reason I'm releasing music now was because 4 years ago now, I entered a competition, a hip-hop competition, and I won it. And it fucking lit a fire up under my ass. But the thing is, I needed that validation to see that I could win, to see that I was good enough, to be able to go, okay, now I can take the steps to release my own music. If I could go back in time, I'd be like, do it anyways, get it out anyways, release that fucking song, and, like, forget about what anyone thinks. Like, at the end of the day, you're doing music for you. What you put down on that page, and those, like, at midnight when you got nothing else to do and you're listening to that song and those words are flowing through you, just let it happen. All the technical stuff, all the perfecting comes later, but if you just got to get yourself out there, basically. And especially the young gay women or young gay fellas in hip hop, don't worry about the hate. Don't worry about the homophobia. We get it anyways when we're walking down the street, and any person of color, any migrant, any person with disabilities will tell you the same thing. Like, you're gonna get the hate anywhere in life, so you might as well do what you fucking want to do. Like, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like, who cares? I'll also say to people who are not gay or just struggling, just, like, cut out the hate. Unless you're in a fucking gang, like, and you've got legitimate beef with a rival gang, don't start beef because you're jealous of someone.
Yeah, work on your shit.
Work on your shit. No, even if you're really good at your shit and you're still getting pissed off because of someone else's progress, just cut it. Because you never know, like, that person that you're dissing on, that you're commenting on Facebook or whatever, could be the person that has, well, first of all, could be one of your best homies if you approached it with love rather than hate. And second of all, could have the connections that you might need to get somewhere. And if you fucking, like, that person's got the connections and you've spilled hate on them, all of a sudden, all those connections are going to know about it, alright? So, like, just Approach you with love.
Wazowski, can we talk about your newest song? This is very exciting, very fresh, very like, I can taste it. So, but
literally like less than 72 hours, she drops.
Yeah, so by the time this video comes out, your newest track, Wazowski, will already have been released.
Yes.
So how do you feel about us listening to it right now?
Super fucking keen.
Okay, great.
I love watching people's reactions.
Yeah.
So
I'm already up anyway. Yeah.
is that loud enough?
Yeah.
Shout outs Happy Camper, shout outs Espa for the mix and master. Fucking yeah, buddy. This is what I meant with like I don't know if you asked me as like an advice question or what it was, but like I had the idea for the song and then I wrote the violins, but like completely randomly. I was like just playing around, having a fiddle around, and I was like, oh, this is something. Sent it to Happy Camper. I was like, oh, I think we need to use this for Wazowski. Then he built the beat around it because he's amazing with his finger drumming and stuff. And then I wrote the verses. So like it's about having that idea of like not just rapping to a beat, which is like it's really exciting for me because like up until now I've kind of just got beats from people that were already made and then I had to work within the scaffold of that beat.
Yeah.
But now I'm there for the beat writing part of it and I can put my musical knowledge into it and be like, oh shit, like we're writing a song. I'm rapping on the song, but it's a song, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Nice.
Not just rapping over a beat, so that's really fucking cool.
Cool.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this year. Yeah.
I really want to know if there's any funny things you can tell us about the Wazowski video. Behind the scenes, because like I've only obviously seen the snippets that you've released so far, and it just looks like it was so fun.
I'm an idiot because I booked the shoot date without realizing the day after Mardi Gras.
Oh my god, were you fucked? Had you slept?
Me and most people were fucked.
Oh, nice. Oh, less.
It's not coronavirus, I promise.
I believe you.
No new cases in Sydney. We can dance as of Monday, motherfuckers.
Oh, that's really exciting.
I need to sneeze again, though.
Okay.
Big build up.
Gorgeous.
That was it. That was the last one.
That was
cool.
We're done. Got it
Depending how cute I look, you can either omit or continue with that.
Okay.
But yeah, stupid me. Booked it the night before Mardi Gras without realizing. Everyone was cooked. Just had to like, you know when you go to work the day after you've had a night out.
Oh yeah. And
you just like gotta find the spoons within you to make it work.
Yes.
It was like that. I just put
the spoons.
I just put everything into that video.
Look at the light.
That was a disappointing sneeze, actually.
Yeah, those suck, hey? It's like a half orgasm.
That was,
not good.
Who likes them?
No one. No.
Everyone hates them, no one likes them.
This is true.
Yeah, no, everyone was fucked and,
like everyone was fucked?
Most people.
Okay.
Yeah, most of my crew,
Was it all your mates that were involved
mostly,
in the filming?
Yeah. I don't, I like to keep things, I mean, most of my friends are actors anyways, so I don't really have to, actors or rappers, so I don't really have to, like, source extras from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Not unless I was doing a bigger clip, which I probably will soon.
Yeah.
But, you know,
ooh, that's exciting.
I've definitely got enough for what scale I needed for Wazowski.
Yeah.
There's a bit of bondage in it. There's a bit of fake money in it. There's a bit of gender bending. I'll tell you that much for nothing.
Ooh, that's a little bit exciting. A little bit of gender bending.
I put on a dress. Shout out to my producer, Happy Camper. Give him a follow. Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend, Capitano Case. Give her a follow. Shout outs GBC. Give them a follow. And shout outs Ill-Equip. Hey!
Woohoo! Very exciting!
Yeah.
Excellent.
And just stay up to date with my music because I'm going to be pumping out singles all year, baby!
Nice! Hectic! Okay, great. Is that it? We're done?
I think so. That'll do.
I don't know. We're out. She's out of space. We're done.
Yeah, she
filled
is.
it.
Yeah, baby.
Alright, sick.